Hey, welcome Northeast Missouri Angler. And whether you're a LiveScope user and a fan, or you don't want one, and they're the death of all things and it's going to ruin fishing, well, if you're that latter of those two, you probably don't want to watch this video. Stick around. Okay, I use LiveScope. I see a lot of people ask questions. What's your settings? This and that I get asked. I run a 93 SV on mine. My recommendation, people always ask what size should I get. Get the biggest size you can afford. Keep in mind, you might be able to afford a 12-inch screen and in the unit have $5,000 wrapped up, $4.5, $5,000 wrapped up in the whole cost of it. You may be able to afford that. But after you do that, then can you afford to go fishing when you want? If you spend a bunch of money on these electronics and stuff, but yet you can't afford gas to go fishing, why spend that much on the electronics? Save a couple grand, go with a smaller unit like a 93 SV. I've seen LiveScope on the 73. It's a little small. I'd say you want at least a 9-inch screen. 12's awesome, 10's nice, but 9's definitely good enough to where you're going to see everything and whatnot. So I'm going to spin the camera around here and let you look at mine. Keep in mind it's dirty, I've been fishing. But there's my LiveScope there. That's what mine looks like. I like the emerald green. As you can see on here, most of the time you can see the fish. I got it on a pole and I can move it around. I like mine on a pole rather than a trolling motor. That way when I spot lock, my trolling motor can turn or whatnot and I can stay focused where the fish are. You can see my trolling motor's turning now, but this hasn't moved at all. It's just what you're used to. I'd say if you're going to crappie fish, you might like it better on a pole. I think for bass fishing and whatnot, them guys, they mainly use theirs on the trolling motor. A couple people I know. But yeah, let's get into it. You'll hook your system up, and everybody says, "Oh, your screen's clear. There's not a lot of clutter." Well, that's just in the settings. And basically, you pull it up when it's on default, and you go to your menu. And there are a couple things you want to do. Like I fish Mark Twain. It's stained water, but it's not muddy right now. I'd say the visibility is about 20 inches. So I have my gain about 64. There's not a lot of floating debris or whatnot. Forward range, I usually run about 20 foot unless I'm scanning for brush. Then I'll go out to about 30, 35 feet. But anything over 20 foot, it tends to get a little blurry. So it's just more of a scanning thing. And then, of course, you can put your edit overlays on like I have. My depth range when I'm crappie fishing depends on the water. I like to stay about 5 foot deeper than the depth that I'm fishing in. So if I'm fishing 15 to 20 foot of water, I like it to be on about 25 foot. I want to be able to see the bottom, but at the same time, like here you can see this is my depth. I got set 25. If you got it set, I want to be able to see that bottom good, you can put it at 45, but you can see you're losing this much of your screen and how details are all gone. So I usually just do it, that's 25 foot, we're in 26 foot of water. You can still see it over here a little bit. So if I was actually fishing this, I'd go 30. That gives me my whole screen is what it does. I use the grid overlay on mine just so I know how far away it is from the boat. Just one of the things I like. Some people don't like it. I don't mind it at all. And as far as back and forth, how far out you see, that's on this one here. My gain right now I have set at 64. It's enough where I can see things good, but it clears up all this clutter. Another thing, when you put this on there setting it up, say you're fishing between 10 and 20, 15 and 25 foot. Okay, you're going to go into your sonar setups. You're going to go to appearance. And this color gain right here, that's how bright your signals are. I keep mine fairly high, 86. Keep in mind, if you got a lot of trash in your water, that can actually give you false signals and you can see ghost images. But as long as you have your settings right, for what you're fishing and you're not getting a lot of static in there, the color gain won't be a big deal. You want it pretty high. I run 86. I like the black emerald. It's got all kinds of colors. I keep trails off and bottom fill off. Okay, then we go back. If you're fishing deeper water, okay, and you're having problems keeping it clear, that's your TVG. What the TVG does is it cleans up the water from the top of the water column down. So like I have mine off right now and it's still pretty clear because there's a lot of trash floating in the water. But let's say it's cluttered up here. What you can do is you can turn that TVG. I'll just turn the gain up. Say you're getting this stuff, but you can see the beams now on my sensitivity, but our water's really clear right now. It's a shad over here, but let's say it's just like that. Your sensitivity's down. You want to clear that top area, that water column up. That's where you go. Put your TVG on low, and it'll clean up the top. Medium will clean up like about the top 10 feet is low. Clean up the next 10 feet would be like medium, and after that high. And it'll clean up all this. You won't get as many signals in that top water column with your TVG on. I run mine off when the water clarity is pretty good. Another thing, go back to menu, sonar setup. That displays your TVG. Noise reject I run on high. And I turn ghost reject off. I don't have a problem getting ghost images out here. It's mainly really muddy water, so I don't worry about it if I don't need to run it. Noise reject I have on high. That's just clutter, surface noise, any interference may be out there. It cleans that up. And that's my basic settings. The only thing I do when I get on the water is the first thing I'll do, I'll adjust my depth and whatnot, but then I adjust my gain for the water conditions. Muddy water, you're going to want, your gain might not need to be as high because you'll get too much clutter. And clearer water, you can run a higher gain without getting all that interference and clutter. So, but that's my settings on my LiveScope. Hope that helps you out. It's just a quick and dirty. Thanks for watching.